If you're looking for a home in Atlanta, Cultivate Real Estate is the people you want to holler at. Adrian, Aaron, and the crew. There are sponsors here every week, fantastic, and trust me, they'll take care of you. You got questions, you just want to talk about things that you're trying to do as a first-time homeowner. If you just want consultation, Cultivate Real Estate are the people to holler at.
Yeah, holler at them on Instagram at Cultivate Real Estate, and they will cultivate some good combos with you and try to help you navigate. I know you've seen that nice house around the corner, okay? If you're in the city of Atlanta, they're popping. Try to get you one. Reach out to them. They're happy to hear from you. Slide in those DMs. So I don't really love to cook as the primary cook in this family. However, what I do like is to jazz up the meals when I do cook, right? I'm looking for spices, seasonings, dry rubs, and I found a good place. It is Artisan Dry Goods made by beautiful Briny C. So a little bit of everything to spice up, jazz up your meal. It is a local store right here in Atlanta, but ready to ship out to you all over the world.
Absolutely, and they're legit. I'm gonna be honest with you here. Forbes, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and Oprah's magazine. And you know Oprah only gonna promote the good stuff. All right, so check them out. Instagram, beautiful Briny C. Make your kitchen better. All right, I'm talking about real good ingredients, urban gardens, local farms. So it's good for your taste buds, good for your body. Check them out, and let's get to the episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sum It Up with the Summers. I am Katoya and this is
Damon.
And we are so happy to have you yet again for another week to chat about all things relationships. And we have a fun one for you today as we get into, do men really want to be married? It was like, topic out in these streets. And so we thought we'd bring it to the podcast. Yet another one where I have thoughts from it, and I think we'll approach this from two different angles possibly today. So we'll dive deeper into that, but not before we say thank you for following, for engaging with us socially, for being a patron, for watching on YouTube. I mean, literally everything. We are 39 episodes in.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if there was, it wouldn't be any fun if no one ever talked back to us. So thank y'all so much for rocking with us. And as always, we're reaching those reviews, and we have one for you today. So let's get into
That's right. And if you didn't know, we're still aiming to get the 100. That's our April goal. So take 60 seconds, drop a review on Apple Podcasts. This week, our review comes from one of my favorite people. She rocks with us over on 4th and 10 as well. Jenny Kaufman. #goals is the title. 5 stars. Only 5 stars. Says, I thought I couldn't love Damon anymore, but he and Katoya are goals. I'm not married, but they provide great insight and a laid-back approach to life and family. When can I meet Katoya and all the little Sumners? #goals. Appreciate you, Miss Kaufman. She's great. She's one of those people you just meet, you click with. She's traveled to shows. Be more like Jen.
I love people like that.
So yeah, please take a second to do the review and all that. We appreciate it. But we are excited to dig into this idea. I want to read a tweet. I'm going to read 2 tweets just to kind of, and then we'll kind of give the big premise about the episode. And note at this end, again, maybe sometimes people may be your first time. We're not
experts. That's true. Maybe you just wanted to get into this episode.
Just in case you don't know, we're not experts in anything.
Right.
We have 16 years of being in a relationship and married under our belt. And so hopefully this value and some insight comes and is helpful for you.
Right. This is just stuff we be talking about. And then we said, well, let's just bring it to the people.
Bring it to the people.
Yet again, we're just having conversations started from the pandemic. Here we are, and we're continuing them. So thanks for tuning in. Listen at your own will.
So this was one of my favorite tweets of 2020. It was on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. It's gold over there.
And Damon's always sharing Twitter things with me. I am not really on Twitter.
Get on there. And so one guy said, high key, marriage is a scam for men. And then another man, he quote tweeted and he said, marriage is a business And in a business, both parties have to profit. Men don't profit off this business, meaning marriage is bad business for men. Woo! So one big premise, because this is really, do men want to get married? It's important to note that we firmly agree that all men don't want to get married. All women as well don't want to get married. Just based off of the title, you could think, oh, they're saying that all women want to get. That's not the case. We know that. But it's just important to keep that. So as we get into this kind of generalized topic here, it is a real topic that I've heard and kind of been around many times. So from my perspective, from Katori's perspective, we thought it'd be good to open up the conversation. So
I just want to talk about that man.
Please, can we talk about that for a moment?
He sucks.
Which one? Both?
Yeah. What was the first one?
First one said high key, not low key. High key.
High key. Marriage is a scam.
Marriage is a scam for men.
Well, so much to say there is just the idea that everyone has their perception, right? Mm-hmm. And whatever those men have seen, and most people who do not like marriage or don't want to get married have not really seen one successful. And so I'm sure he's probably even divorced, one of them. I wouldn't even. But something's gone wrong. He's seen it not work well, right? And I think that begins to shape our perspective. It's like when you grow up and you're like, well, do I have children? Like you learn from your parents, so you're either going to do what they do or you're going to say, no, I absolutely do not want to do that.
Right.
And it's like, well, I actually do want to love somebody really well and excel in the marriage because I ain't seen nothing great, so I'm about to go be great. You can take it that direction or you can say F this stuff because I don't think it's great, don't want to be a part of it, seen them all fail, out, right? So clearly they are tainted and something has happened dramatically in their relationships of themselves or others around them that is causing such a poor perspective of what marriage could be.
The two words that jumped out to me were scam and in business. Those were two. Scam is usually meaning that you put faith and belief into something and somebody cons you. They're like, I ain't signed up for this. This is a Ponzi scheme. And so anytime somebody's like, hey, DM me for more details about this thing, like, ooh,
never mind.
Nah. That's like being at a kiosk at a mall. Be like, hey, are you happy with? Stop.
Nope. I had someone say, come chat with me on WhatsApp. I was like, no. Why do we have to change platforms?
Oh no.
No thanks.
No. WhatsApp is probably the sixth thing on my iPhone screen.
No thanks.
And then just the last thing I'll say about this was marriage is a business. Perspective, point of view is important in anything, in absolutely anything. And so starting out with a perspective that marriage is a business, you've already set up to fail.
It's true.
You've already set up to fail if you think that marriage is a business.
Because the minute our marriage starts looking like a business, we are like, what's going on with us?
Pause.
Like, we are out of touch. We just working side by side. Did you do? Did I do? Did you do? Did you get? Did we go? Did we? That is not what marriage is. So it is a partnership, but it is not a business, and it's unfortunate. I mean, if that's the case, and then this is for men, meaning marriage is bad business for men. Mm-hmm. Like, who say that the woman is profiting?
Flip it on them.
Who said that? Why he assumed that the one woman getting everything? He must be trying to see. It's that I'm the head of household, and listen. I do sweetly want to live. I was talking to friends the other day and said, "Yeah, I don't mind being taken care of. Like I don't have to be. The old days." It's okay. Give me the freedom to do what I want to do by making sure that I don't have to go do the work every day. But that's me, and I understand whatever. However, what I am saying is, how do you know that woman is fully profiting from something, right? Yeah. Like, what if she sees it from the same perspective? So this whole thing is all about generalizations.
Yeah, it is. And generally speaking, in our society, specifically in America, marriage has a persona. Also, it's just important to know that marriage is not a gender thing. Like, marriage is not great for all women and it's not bad for all men and vice versa. Marriage is a uniquely individualized experience and journey with two people, more times than not, that's going to go however it goes. And so anywho, I wanted to start off with that tweet because I think it does give a little bit of framework. And so we're gonna do something I don't think we've done. It's we're gonna break it up into two different phases in a sense of the conversation, because So I think you can answer the question yes and no. I think you can answer. I hate to answer.
What is the question?
No. The question is, do men want to be married?
Yes, so, some do.
Yes.
No,
and then there's a
some
no.
do not.
And so we're going to try to unpack for the next 20 or so minutes here the yeses
Two
and
different
the no's,
sides, right?
Right?
Yes. We have a really great friend. I love him. He has been in a couple of relationships, but I love him because we've been knowing him for about 10 years, and he is very specific when he pursues a girl. It's like, yo, I like you, I'm feeling you, and I'm dating you to marry you.
He does not waste time.
Intentions are set.
Focus.
Intentions are real. He desires to love a woman well and to spend the rest of his life with someone who wants to love him back. And I think that he is a clear yes to me when I think of right now a single man that wants to be married or is heading to be married, because he is now officially engaged and about to get married. And so I think of him and I think yes. So shout out to you, sir, if you're listening and you know who you are. But I think you can tell that he wants affection. He wants someone to care for and to be cared for.
Mm-hmm. I firmly believe that there are men around the world in the US of A who want to get married. I don't think there's 32 guys walking these streets who only want to get married. I don't think that's the case. So
I wonder what the statistics really are, though.
Well, I think it's we don't have enough time to really kind of unpack. It's an intricate conversation here. No, I don't think it's that low at all. What I do think, though, is that there's a few reasons why I say yes. These men have seen great examples of a marriage, and they're like, yo, I want that. You know, when you see somebody experience, live something, and you're like, I want in on that. I don't know if it's a job, right? You know, we got to struggle with the comparison sometimes. You're like, hey, that family, maybe you see people at the park with their kids, maybe you see it as a career, right? Maybe you see it as somebody who's at a few levels above you, like, yo, I want to get there, right? So there are a bunch of men who have experienced and have seen and have lived that and have seen great examples of that. I'm one of them, where you've seen great examples of great marriages, and you're like, yeah, whatever you got, I want some of that. I think that's one big thing. I think another big thing, like Tori talked about, is the fact that, yes, men want to be loved and show affection and have a ride or die. Like, that is a thing. That is not a myth just because of somebody's genitalia that's just like, man, I don't really need that in my life. No, that is a thing that in my opinion is, yes, as humans, we want relationship. We want companionship. You know what I mean? And so there's something that I just feel a lot of times is downplayed, but it's like, yeah, no, that's a real thing. So yeah, those are two reasons off top. I'll pause there. That I think that men want to get married? Absolutely, men want to get married. Now, how we go about that and what does that look like? You know, those are things that you have to figure out as a person. You know, because I think another reason, this one's just a generalized. This is just a Damon one here. It's just I think a lot of men don't want to be that man in the club walking around looking for tail by themselves with their shirt open. I just don't think a lot of men want that. I don't think everybody got an uncle. Everybody got an uncle who pull up at the barbecue, the Thanksgiving, just out here just looking and just say, hey, who that? Oh, okay, how old is she? That ain't, a lot of men don't want to be that. That ain't what you want. You don't want your chest out and you just walking around, you just strolling on Christmas looking around saying, how you doing, baby? No, sir. Sir, stop it. Sit down. That's not what a lot of men want. A lot of men don't want that.
So I think there's a level of pride sometimes too. Like the idea, I wonder if we took a survey, ladies, how many men do you feel are really ready to settle down and maybe enter into, even if it's not marriage, just a committed relationship, like exclusive, committed relationship. Because I know people have been together for 15 years and still ain't married, but they love each other and they are committed to each other. So maybe you just don't like the idea of marriage as a whole. You know, to each his own. So I just am intrigued on, like, you know, what really makes us feel that men do not want to. And I think that, I mean, when we were talking about this episode, it goes so far back into, like, what has been instilled, what has been projected, what has been displayed, what we see in media, what social media feeds us. Oh, Lord forbid, hip hop culture, right? Where videos of nothing but girls and this like bachelor life that seems so appealing. But in reality, how many men are really emotionally available to really discuss like those true desires without feeling like their masculinity is challenged? Because I do feel like sometimes that could halt this perception that men want love and want to be in a marriage or a committed relationship.
Oh, without a doubt, that's definitely going to be one of the biggest hurdles
Right.
to get into.
I mean, we said it on the podcast before, like, yeah, I'm still a dynamic individual as a male. I have feelings, I have emotions, but we in society push that down so much for men to not express themselves. That can be feminine, that can be that's another tweet coming up. That can be soft, you know, like, but it's not, you know. And when we suppress the emotional accessibility and vulnerability of a man, well, then it looks like maybe many of them don't actually want to be married. But again, just as a human, we know that we yearn for affection and for someone to love. So I think that some of that is pride, while we may not be able to see it as much on a woman's perspective. And then two, it's just so bad with that perception of others. Like, I think like videos. I don't know why I went to big pens, but Jay-Z got married too. Like,
Jay-Z been married.
I think there's a time.
Snoop been married.
There's a period, right, where you're like, this the life I want to live, but then there's a period like, okay, I don't want to be that guy still, and maybe I am actually ready for someone who can love me well.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to unpack that a little bit more and answer the other side of that question, but we'll be right back with the sponsors. What's going on, good people? Before we get back to our episode, we want to shout out one of our sponsors, Unbox Boredom. That's right. Unbox Boredom is a fun subscription board game service that delivers board games directly to your door for you to keep.
Yeah, and it's for all type of gamers, right? So, and bringing us back to the classic, unplugging from the screens, and good old board games, right? And from many different options, from strategy to family and even party games. And unlike many subscriptions, Unbox Boredom allows you to change your subscription. You can go from monthly to bi-monthly and even quarterly. And for every 10 subscriptions, Unbox Boredom will donate one to a family who can't afford one.
Absolutely. And we got a special promo code right now that can give you free shipping on your first box, and it's called Sum It Up. That's right. Sum It Up will get you free shipping on your first box. So check them out online. You can check them out at unboxboredom.com, or also you can check them out on Instagram, unboxboredom.
Virtual wine tastings? Sign us up. And we did with Couch and Cork, and it was such a good time. We got the wine. They did the rest. We had our friends, and we're still talking about this time many days later.
Absolutely. It's a highly personalized, fun, full service, inclusive experience. It's not just for the ladies, fellas. I'm talking about it's for everybody, your friends, your family, your colleagues, whoever. On top of that, we got a special promo code right now, Sumnus15. Not just for 10, but for 15% off. That's right, Sumnus15. 15% off. Check them out on the gram, Couch and Cork, or couchandcork.com for an in-home wine tasting experience. You won't regret it. All right, we're back. Do men want to be married? No. Let's talk about the other side. So one you kind of alluded to just a second ago. Society. Well, listen, we don't highlight marriage well a lot of times in society. Like you talked about social media, from magazines to movies to TV. You know, it's just not, even just with your friends. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. If you're married, listen to me, only talk about the highs and the positives. How long you been married? 8 years. How's it going? Woo-hoo! It's work. Put your hard hat on. You know, I've said it before. Man, woo! Every day's a wrestle. I'm trying by my best. And it's just like, listen to me. This is, we got to do better with our marketing, okay? But we don't a lot of times do that as a society. You look left, you look right. And so we talked about a song a few weeks ago, I really want to be with you, but I got to be real with you. I can't leave you alone. I know I'm doing wrong, but I can't let you go. What is it? You're the one I want in my life.
You're the one I want in my life.
But I already got a wife. What do we say? Wait, what? Wait a minute. So society is something
And we was
that
like this.
high school, yeah, play that, fabulous, come on, woo! And so that's not one of the big reasons, but that is a thing that goes into, that nature versus nurture,
Yeah,
right? It just gets into your cerebellum, and you just be out here.
and it's not that it's not true. People struggle with like maybe still wanting to enjoy some other things or enjoy another person, or maybe somebody's like, "Oh, monogamy,"
to not
whatever.
settle down and be exclusive.
Of course,
All
right? It feels limiting. It can, but that can't be the only thing that we latch on to, because all of the pros far outweigh like that wrestle. I mean, because at the end of the day, you're like marriage is being not so well because it's just about two people having to deal with each other's stuff. So it's not gonna always be this pretty picture perfect thing, but when you realize that you'd rather be doing that with someone than out doing it not with someone, then that's when you reach something there. You're like, it's better for me to do this. Or it's just like the grass is greener. Like sometimes you gotta separate. You gotta go through a divorce. You gotta look at somebody else's situation to realize that yours is really pretty good. So sometimes, when we're selling those bad stories or good stories or whatever, like those are true, like some of those tensions that people feel from getting into marriage, but that's not how we need to sell it to folks. And not necessarily sell it. You sell it holistically.
Y'all be selling it bad.
I think it's holistic. You need to highlight those pros far more than those cons.
Only pros. Only 5 stars. Okay?
I don't agree with that, but...
No, this is why, because single people only give 5 stars. Single people, listen to me. Single people only give the highlights of single life. I'm out here. I got my own money. I'm free. You want to go out? I can go out. Single people only talk about the highlights. Married people like, you know what? Woo! I'm gonna give this 1 star. 1 star. That's all I got. Thumbs down. But I've been with her for 28 years. What? What are you saying? That's the reason for sure.
All right, so back to some no's. Why not? Society does not highlight it well. We have to do better. Of course, like we said, could feel like it is limiting, right? When people like thinking about living with one person for the rest of their life, doing life with one person, having sex with the one person. Whoa, my gosh, I can't believe that I would have to do this, And so it feels like, but there's so many other things out there, and I would like to explore them, So
you ain't gonna explore all those things. You might explore 3,
and you're not already explored. May I fail?
What are you talking about?
That's why you're still exploring.
You ain't had 12 cereals, but you only eat 2. What are we talking about, people? Stop it.
You're still going back to the same.
You're still going back. You're still eating Frosted Flakes. You ain't had 42 different cereal, but let me just go ahead and get my Frosted Flakes. You're doing.
Yeah, you're already doing it. You're just like not intentionally
Frosted
trying
Flakes
to
are
do
always delicious. That'll preach for somebody out here. Always delicious. You understand what I'm saying out here? Ball and chain. That's another one. That's another one that you can feel like the ball and chain. I think these kind of go hand in hand here, where it just feels like this commitment is going to be the end of the world. And again, that I've heard that. I heard that. I'll speak for myself. I heard that several times growing up in a variety of ways, from TV shows to being around grown men, things like that, where it's just like, yeah. I don't want that. I want my own place that I can go and come as I please. I don't want this quote unquote woman nagging me. And so I don't want to have to deal with that stress. And I'm going to be free. And so we're very clear. These are not excuses. These are not outs. We're just talking about ways that it can make it, the ways that a man could use some of these generalized thoughts to be like, you know what, I'm actually going to say no to marriage. Yeah. I'm actually going to say out on the exclusivity of this relationship. I'm good.
Yeah.
Ball and chain. No ball and chain over here. Free. Right. I'm a free man. I'm a free bird. Free bird. Am I free bird? Am I a free bird?
I guess so. Kind of, sort of.
Because I want to get back to that cage.
Within limits, right? It's like, only fly to the perimeter.
What's out there?
Make sure you come back home.
Come on back in there. Come on back in there.
It's midnight.
Listen, by the time I get to the perimeter, I'm like, I don't want that.
Oh, that's what it's doing?
That's what y'all doing?
I've been hanging out with a single friend, and we've like gone out, and I just feel like, so this was, okay.
This is it? 4 nights a week?
Then I come home, curl up real nice.
Curl. Curl. You understand? Be curl. You don't want to curl
right next to my boo,
Get
because that is safety, right? It feels secure. That's what marriage offers. It should. And I think for everything that we say on this podcast, like, it takes work. No one's saying that these things, the no's make sense to me. I understand feeling this way. True. But you feel this way until you find the person that doesn't make you feel this way.
Come on.
Right? Like, there's something about that. Are they gonna make you feel that way maybe every day? Mm-hmm. I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I think there's gonna be a day you're like, ooh, if I did redo this, then what I'm striving for next time. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the truth, right? So no one's denying it, and especially when we think about men, but we're also saying, but how do we shift this to really focusing on the truth of the yeses? Yeah. Because the yeses exist, I think, irregardless. Absolutely.
I think that's a big one too. Understanding that when you find the one, we've talked about the one. Oh, actually, that was a bonus episode on Patreon. Check that out on Patreon. Wink, wink. But we'll give you a little teaser here. Is that we think that the one is the one that you say I do with. That's the one. We don't think that there's somebody right now who's traveling abroad in Indonesia, and then one day y'all are gonna miraculously meet at a Starbucks and boom, boom, boom. It's like, who's the one we walk down the aisle with? Oh, that's the one. That's the one you're committed to. That's the one day in and day out you're going to put the work in with to make this an amazing, wonderful experience with together. So, with that being said, I think that is an important piece, that until you get to where you feel like, oh, okay, it can feel like all of these reasons for the no. Yep. Right? It can feel like if I listen to the song on loop, if I listen to my boys say, yo, how hard work it is, it'll feel only that way. Until you get a chance to connect with someone, you're like, oh no, right. This can be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and Damon didn't agree with this one, but I think women do a reach like this. Most women are like looking for love, wanting to like settle down and be in a real committed relationship. But women are often more emotionally available and in tune with themselves to express that, and it's also,
I didn't disagree with that.
Displayed everywhere for women to fall madly in love, right? Like, that is just that's just shown. So yes. Anyone wanting to go against that, I understand. You're like, I'm tired of hearing that. But men seem to arrive there a lot slower in most cases. It's like in the 20s, that's not their interest most times. All right, but the women were already there in the 20s, and then like maybe in your 30s you got there, and then now you 40. And I was gonna be rude, like with your kid and your divorce, and now you want to tell me you want to sit down. Like, no, like, and then now people have to accept that, and that's fine. That is fine. That could be anybody's story. Like, but it does seem to take a little bit longer in most cases for men to really decide that I no longer need to fish out in this sea, and that the fish I have caught is the fish that is for me, right? And I feel like women are like, oh yeah, that fish good, and like a lot sooner, and that's unfortunate because it's not on the same timing. Like, I mean, you were just looking at some sex statistics, and the time it was off, like women.
Oh yeah, sex drive. I was looking at some stats, and it was like, yo, it was gonna be multiple phases, but one phase I was looking at was like, all right, here comes these early 30s, and then the women's drive was going up, and the fellas' drive was going down. I was like, the disconnect.
And I'm saying there's a disconnect there.
In the timing of arriving.
And arriving to like wanting to be ready to settle down. In most cases. Yes, it doesn't mean all. Right. We are a living testament of not all. And so many of our friends are.
And I know that this episode is mostly focused on the man side here, but I think that's an important piece you brought up, which is valid. And I do agree that most of that is valid and true as well. Mm. But like on the flip of it, is in my opinion, like, it's unfortunate that as well with the society that women, we got 2 daughters here. Again, you look in society, you just think about culture, and it's like it pushes women to an earlier standpoint. We were talking earlier about how women were getting married many times, not their own, not their own desire, early on in life and things like that. And so it's kind of just this thing that was kind of pushed upon them, and you got the princess getting married by the prince who comes to save them, and you just got all this blah blah blah. You pick up a Cosmo at the airport, like 14 ways to make sure he's ready to lock it down. It's just like, so there's also a flip side to that again, that nature nurture, where nurture just kind of just pushing down on the ladies. It's like, all right, you know what, 21. Okay, that's good. You got your degree, got a Corolla, look good for you.
No longer doing 14,
settle down.
So giving y'all 21 now.
Step up, okay? We're stepping up. Jeez. And so that's a piece of the puzzle.
It is.
On both
it is
sides.
a big piece. And like when you think about kids, it makes me think like, it's almost like you want to redo those. Like, hey, girls, live your life. Go explore. Hey, Mission, you ever thought about loving somebody? Like, let's switch that. Just
so maybe that the timing will be right on catch.
Because I know culture and society is going to teach you otherwise. So I want to make sure that we're, honing in on the opposite side, just so that it's an option for you. And it is true, it's an option for anyone. But at the end of the day, everybody's longing to be with someone one way or the other.
One way
whether
or
it's
the
in
other.
your friendships, whether it's in companionship, whether it's in a long committed relationship, or whatever. Even if you're like, I ain't even ready to settle down with one person, you still want to hang out with somebody, whether you think that's the only body or not. Like, we desire that as people. So do men want to get married? It's up to that man to really, I think, feel like to wrestle with some of those inward emotions that determine if they think that that's the step that they want to be in or not.
Do men want to be married? Yes. But also, we got a ways to go, fellas. We can do better. We can do a lot better in this department. We don't have enough time to read these tweets. We might do a live with this episode because I think it's really interesting to kind of talk about that with y'all. There's a lot. There was one. I was reading one tweet here. It wasn't necessarily about marriage, but it was about the male perspective. And he said, as a man, you never supposed to vent to your girl ever. And so, as men, we just got to unpack some stuff. Man, we got to get in therapy. We got to unpack some stuff.
For real.
And just kind of really take off some of these facades.
And black men, for real.
We got to take off some of these things that have been passed down and put on us that had probably no real premise, no real insight. It was just talk, and then talk becomes legend. And then legend becomes truth.
Yep.
And then you just hold on to that, because that's what my papa told me at last family reunion.
That ain't it.
I can't vent to her. I'm a man. I'm out here making $18.22 an hour, fam. I gotta be out here holding strong. She ain't gonna never see no tears in my eye, fam. It's like, wait a minute, bro. Wait. Mufasa just died. It's okay. Take a break. So
that's a lot of weight to bear.
It's a lot. There's somebody out there for you if you open up. I'm open. All right. Listen, this is good. This is, 30 minutes goes by quick. There's so much more you can unpack, but hopefully, as always, you found some type of value. Hopefully, again, we always love for this just to be a conversation starter. You know what I'm saying? Text your friends. Y'all get on the porch, talk about it. Let us know what you're thinking out here. Let us know. Do you think men want to be married?
What you want.
Boom. I said Spice Girls classics. She started did you start a Spice Girls club back in school?
At an all-black school.
All black school, killing it. Who you, Ginger Spice?
No, because I started it, so of course I was Mel B.
Yes, Mel B. Of course you were. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us, man. If you got a moment, drop that review down on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on all the social platforms. As always, Damon and Katoya, summing up the summoners. We'll talk to y'all soon.